Yeah.
So on this auspicious occasion of 200 crores of AUM, it's good that we are meeting in flesh and blood. So it will be a nice conversation. We can have basically a day two discussions basically. So I would like to have your views on what were your thoughts when you envisaged that you should form a housing finance company and allow us an opportunity to form this.
So forming a housing finance company for us was typically that we wanted to enter the secured lending space, and what better than doing affordable housing, because having done microfinance for such a number of years, I think the next logical step was to move into housing for the marginalized section of the society. So that's the reason why this was made up. And rather than you asking me, I should ask you basically, how do you feel yourself that after having achieved the first 200 crore milestone with your baby?
So I think one thing that we both share, maybe irrespective of the sizes, I think we both are creators. And it was a marriage of an entrepreneur with a capitalist basically. So I had this vision. Of course, there was a lot of emotional question because I think my mom and dad spent half of their life for basically serving the EMIs of getting the house. So my biggest dream was that I should create an organization which can actually create a difference in the life of people by giving them houses, by helping them grow the business, and so forth. So I think I've created this, and I'm really blessed to get this opportunity with your vision. And 200 crore achievement is a milestone for any housing finance companies because out of 120 registered housing finance companies, I think we must be in the top league of affordable housing finance companies which has got the license in the last span of 3 years. So yeah, it's a great achievement. But as you rightly said, building up a baby itself is a big task. But now the baby has grown into a child, and I would say the child is going to be a very good child going forward. So yeah, it's a great feeling.
And the advantage which probably I think a lot of people would never know is that you built up this portfolio with practically a zero delinquency. That's a very incredible achievement.
Correct. So a lot of people ask me that how you did that. So I always believe in the mantra that prevention is better than cure. So we build up the credit system in such a way that we are never going to be the what we call as a number-driven company. So we basically focus on the quality, and the mantra of prevention is better than cure has paid us well. So this company has tested one of the most toughest time because I think we were the child of what we call as demonetization. And then every hiccups which were not there in the industry for the last 40 years, we would have faced that. But I would say all braving childs are born in a very tough environments. So I think we have tested those environment and are now ready for the next step of leap. So yes, the quality of the portfolio is the biggest differentiating factor for us, and I hope so it's going to remain for the next several years that we are going to run this company. So that's how it is, and the path is going to be challenging, but yes, I think we have weathered it nicely.
So they say you are a tough CEO.
Well, if the guy is very passionate and if the guy wants work with joy, with reasonableness, with the freedom to work, but at the same time very disciplined, then if it is termed as a tough CEO, then I would take it with a great pride, basically.
Yeah.
So that's how it is.
It is, and I think there is something which I possibly am also learning from you, being a tough CEO. Well, I'm not a tough CEO, to be very honest. So a CEO to see another CEO, I think it is something which probably is something which I'm also trying to learn from you. So that's a good learning experience.
No, I would take it as a big compliment because I don't have that much decade of experiences that you have. But I would say there are a lot of synergies which are there between you and me, maybe. Maybe I'm a young lad, and I also feel that you are still a young lad.
Excepting for the hair part, I think.
No, but that's my choice actually. That's my choice actually. So that's a fashion statement actually right now. So having said that, it's not about toughness. It's about basically doing the right things at the right time. Because I feel that there is a lot of stake on your heads and shoulders, and you should feel that responsibility. And we are in a lending business, so we have to be tough. Otherwise, the things may go haywire. So if discipline and getting all this stuff together and creating value for the entire society, including your stakeholders, your employees, and maybe a lot of other peoples. So I think toughness with the right balance is required.
Absolutely. So I agree with that.
So I want to run that in that way only.
And what are your goals? The short-term one, the medium-term one, and the long-term one?
So I always believe that I don't believe in short-term goals because I feel that you should have a consistency and persistency. So my vision was to build this organization into an altogether different organization. So since you have touched this question, so most of the processes, the credit appraisement processes and the way that we have built up this company is, I would say, traditionally very different from how the housing finance companies are built up. I want to create it big and I want to create it different. So it's not big and same, it's big and different. So my vision is that I want to turn it as an institution and not a company. So there's a lot of difference between company and institutions. So classic example being the Indian bank like HDFC has been ranked as one of the top in the entire world. So basically, I would not say that I can reach that level overnight, but over a period of time, there's nothing that we can't do that what they have done. So that is one. Second, I think the assets for us are people. So be with them and care for them. So in that, I would seriously today being a Women Empowerment Day, so 30 to 40% of the population, I would say that we would try to basically balance the mix. Third, of course, I always respect that people put in money with a lot of faith. So they need to be basically rewarded. So return on equities and what we call as a return on assets is something which really needs to be worked on being a startup. Of course, this year is going to be in the green. But having said that, these are my visions for Satin Housing for a long term. I wanted to build up a 5,000 crore company in a span of another 2 years with a decent multiple. But the only differentiating factor for me as a CEO and as a recognition for Satin Housing is that people should not take Satin Housing Finance Limited as only the profit-making entity. They should feel the difference. So I say business is not about profits. It's about making the life for the people, of the people, and by the people in a very large way. So these are my short-term three, four, what we call the wish list. But the wish list is going to take a little bit longer term. So I have long-term visions.
So very, very well said. I think, what you said, I think, you're not building up a company, you're building an institution.
Right.
So I think, that's probably the underlying message, which you are bringing in as probably the head of the institution. I feel, that whatever you've done up till now, I think, are probably the first steps which you're taking to build up the institution. And I can only say that you've done wonderfully well. I think, I'm really proud of you, and I'm really proud of the team which you created. And for us, even at the parent company, I think, we feel that, we would love the day when you outshine us also. And I think probably that is the biggest success which you will have. And then I can probably say that up till now, whatever you've done, that's fantastic. Congratulations again on achieving the 200 crore milestone. You'll have many more to come, And I'd love to see your journey forward.
Thank you, sir.
All the best, Amit.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Maybe if I can take this opportunity to ask certain things from you, because I think a lot of employees don't know your personal side of the life, I would say that. So, and that's what my wife requested, that you should ask your husband what are his certain personal aspects of life. So she said that I should ask that, so what was there in your mind when you created this empire? Were you scared? Were you confident? Or how it is, basically?
So, if I give you an insight, and I've never been scared in my life, be it demon, be it any crisis, be it anything, and I've always taken it as a challenge. And for me, the biggest thing which I have always learned is remain positive in whatever environment you are in, because things will change. And if you get scared, I've never been scared. I think that's probably one of the things that I've been able to really encounter the crisis, or whatever crisis, and the crises are coming like in hordes now for the last 5 to 7 years. It's really piling up. That's one. And I think the point is, if your thoughts are very clear, and fundamentally, if your thoughts remain very clear, I think then there's nothing which can probably hold you back. And that's probably how things have really built up.
So what makes you Mr. Cool, basically, in spite of taking all these pressures?
Reflection, I think, what I probably do at a lot of times is reflect that, whatever is being done, whether this is right, wrong, can do better, did I make a mistake, was there something else I could probably do it strategically, how do we really look at it, So for me, that whole process of thinking probably keeps me in that spirit where I don't lose my cool ever. I think, when I lose my cool, I think that's probably the darker side of my life, which I don't want to see it again, also for myself, but the point is, yes, I think you are able to think more clearly, you're able to focus more clearly. If you are cool, calm, and if you are probably hyper and you lose your cool, I think, you lose your sight of the goals and whatever you are trying to do. So that's probably the one purpose.
Sounds good. So what motivates Mr. HP Singh?
I won't say numbers or anything, but what motivates me is that next day, what am I going to do something different and something which is going to be creative enough to make people sit up and think, okay, fine, this is something which is new is coming up, That is what keeps me on, that kick of creating something new, something which is dynamic, something different, where everybody feels, okay, fine, this is something, which I probably should have done, and it's a challenge for everybody that if I could think, you could think too, So that is where the challenge always comes in, and that's the creation, which is the innovation, creating is what I always look forward to.
So, which age Mr. HP Singh would love to live again?
Live again means
the earlier 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s.
No,
I
love the way I am. I've probably not grown old since the day I started the business.
That's nice.
Yeah, I still remain, I can still work 16 hours, and I do work about 14 to 16 hours every day.
That's
For me, this is what my life is all about, and I love to see it, and I will keep on working till my last day of my life. That is what I really want to do. I don't want to hang out my boots. I probably would love to be even till my last breath in the chair.
Well, that's a great spirit. So, what are the human values that Mr. HP Singh really likes?
I think the thought is that just love everyone. That's it.
Yeah, that's right.
I love everyone from your heart. That's it. Never take advantage of. That's something which I mean. Be true to yourself. Be true to people. In whatever form, even if somebody done anything to you, and there's been a lot of challenges in the professional life which I've faced, but yeah, just be true to yourself and just be true to people. That's fine.
So should I take that Mr. HP Singh is more emotional and practical?
I am, yes, more emotional, but yes, I don't know the practical side of it. But definitely, yes, the emotion side also does overpower the practical side, but. I know how to strike the balance.
That's nice. So how do you see yourself down the line 10 years?
Still chatting around. that's what we'll keep on doing.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So what are your favorite hobbies? A lot of people, I'm sure, may not be knowing it or maybe knowing it, but just to update on the latest side.
Hobbies as such, I love to watch movies. Whenever I get the time, I used to read a lot, but somehow now I don't have the patience to read anymore, but I love to watch movies, for me, I could watch a movie every day, so I'm a movie buff, and that's something which I probably do whenever I get my spare time.
That's nice. So what was the most wow moment in any part of your life? If two of them you can tell us. Well, I'm sure you must have got married, that must be the one. Another one, I don't know.
Well, wows are created every day.
Okay, but the two most important, if you remember.
Well, there are wows every day. You crossing 200 crore was a wow factor again. For us, getting our first IPO in 1996, wow, I could not have even thought about. Professional career, taking a leap. Moving into this space, moving into different spaces. There are wows every day. You just have to feel it. That's what it is. So you create a wow for yourself every day. And that's how I live it.
That's nice. So I think that's good. Something that we know about you, and there will be more things that we will know about you. More often we'll meet like this, maybe 200, 2000, 5000. And thank you very much for all the trust that you have kept on me.
All the best.
I always say that I think, and this is right from the heart, there was a time when I was in demonetization and I came back to you and said, sir, we are in a big trouble, whether you would like to move ahead with the housing finance project. And you said, have the confidence on me, present the business plan, I'm backing you. And I think in February, we presented to the entire board. And I think he was the person who actually grilled me in the entire board in spite of saying that he was behind me. But that was something fantastic, and I'm really thankful to you that your confidence in me I'm sure I would have lived up to that. And there are many more milestones to be crossed.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much for your valuable time and
Look
you
forward.
take it to the heights that you really
Look forward.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a great time.